Hello and what is up YouTube? My name is G3Iron and today I'm going to be showing you a little bit of gameplay here from waves 19 and 20 on this particular Scion Transcendence character. I was supposed to be done with Path of Exile Heist and just playing variety content at this point in the league, but then I saw the build guide creator of this Transcendence build come out with this build, and I've simply been inspired. I saw a build that took advantage of Armour, one of the self-proclaimed or widely regarded most useless stats in Path of Exile, and they've essentially turned this into a build-enabling stat, both for defensive purposes by enabling Transcendence as a keystone, which of course transforms your armor to apply for your elemental hits that you take, whether that's fire, cold, or lightning, at the penalty of having a slightly worse amount of elemental resistances. But it really doesn't matter. For those of you who can see what my elemental resistances are, without any endurance charges or flask usage, I'm at 37, 35, 24. I've got a lot of work still to do on this character. I'm only level 93. A lot of players who are playing this style of character are 4 to 5 levels higher up than where I'm at, and yet this character is simply ridiculously fun. It takes advantage of course, the replica Dream Feather, which gives you 1% increased attack damage per 450 armor. We're going to do some real quick and simple math here just to show how much value there is behind this particular Dream Feather that's giving us 1% increased attack damage per 450 armor. So right now, with no flasks up, just passively standing here inside a Simulacrum, we've got 865,234 armor. That's how much we've got. When we divide that by 450, because that's going to give us the total amount of increased attack damage we get per 450 armor, it gives us just under 2,000% increased damage that we are getting. So armor scales up for us not only as a defensive effect thanks to Transcendence and the elemental hits that we are taking, but it also scales up for us as essentially an offensive stat as well. Anyway, if you want more information on this, I'm going to stop blabbing about this because the build guide creator himself has got a much more in-depth, detailed build review video, which that's down below in the video description, along with the POE Ninja for his particular build and character that he is using at the moment. So without any further ado, let's just get into some gameplay and see how this thing deals with some Simulacrum Wave 19 and 20 monsters. So there we go. You could see that there were a couple of moments where we took some significant damage, a couple of close calls in there on wave 20 where we actually had to, somewhat pay attention to where we were. But for the most part, this build, I'm not going to call it an immortal build. It's not an immortal build. You can die on this thing, but it is a build that is good enough for someone as terrible at Path of Exile as me to be able to clear wave 20 Simulacrums. That is a pretty dang tanky build, if I do dare say so myself. I think this is probably the most tanky build that I personally have ever played that is not simply an immortal build. Like, there are things that can kill this build. You can see it. Particularly elemental degens can kill this build. With a few more passive points, though, hopefully I'll be closer towards getting towards elemental cap resistance. And then maybe I'll have even more time to pay attention to avoid those sorts of elemental dots and elemental degens. It's simply a fantastic build. Don't follow my build. My profile is down below, of course, in the video description. But don't follow my build. The build that you're going to want to follow is, again, the build guide creator, and you're going to want to follow his character because he knows absolutely what he's doing. I am simply a follower of his who am not worthy to untie the sandals of his wanderlust as it is. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of gameplay footage, and I hope today is the day that a Mirror of Calandra drops for you. Thanks for watching that video. If you'd like more information on any of our discussion points today, you can see them down below in the video description. If you'd also like to join our Discord or support our Patreon, you can do so with the links down below. Thanks again, and big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters.